Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
We some lions, don't let them boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let them boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let them boys get loose. It's a new day, Honolulu Blue got the boys on a crusade. Campbell throwing dukes, got golf at the Wings game. Hear his name replay and replay and replay. Got him off the leash every Sunday. David Montgomery, Gibbs on a runway. Take a shot at Jameson and stumble out the hallway. Running in the hutch any day, that's a bad day. They don't wanna bring us up, keep us off the airways. America's team, sick of dealing with these cowboys. Keep it in your hostess, you've been cheating like an off day. We got Slim Shady, you too caught up in Beyonce. Welcome to Detroit, all that grit can go a long way.
Welcome to the show. I am your host, Nate the Great, and I got my man B Strilla here. How you doing, B?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah,
doing good.
you've been enjoying the tourney games.
Oh yeah, kind of glancing at one right now.
Yeah, man, it's the best time of the year, man. You get a month of all college basketball, and then after that, you get NBA playoffs. So. It's a good time to be a sports fan. And MLB. We're talking about MLB starts next week too. And UFL. Yeah. So got some good stuff going on the pipe, man. Well, I'm glad you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. It's Sunday. We're back on the show. Let's get it started. And we have a special guest.
What's up, Brent?
What's up, Brent? How you doing, buddy? Mr. Mad Ganser, aka the Mad Hatter himself. And he's wearing a hat. No pun intended.
Good evening, fellas. Good evening.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. All right. Well, we're just gonna get started, man. Let's go. Mad. Introduce yourself and tell us your history of being a Steeler fan, and then let's get into some Steeler talk. So let's go.
Short story. I was born into being a Steeler fan since 1989, and I was watching games with my grandpap. I ain't gonna talk about the first ever Steeler game I watched because that was a nightmare. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what? You can't hurt me. I watched Bobby Brister play as our quarterback.
Oh man, it's a name drop.
Yeah, Bobby Brister. Yeah, that's painful to watch.
All right, well, let's get started. My first question to you, Mad Hatter, is Aaron Rodgers. What is the latest on Mr. Aaron Rodgers? Are you happy at all that y'all are probably going to sign him, or are you not going to sign him? What are your thoughts?
Given his history that he's always he got Robert Saleh fired yesterday. Last year. Supposedly he's like a diva and he tears teams apart, but I don't know how I would feel about it because given our quarterback situation, he'll probably be like the best choice possible. I heard they don't want Russell Wilson back because he's asking for at least $20 to $30 million a year. So I'll be all right with it. I'll be all right with it.
He wants $20 to $30 million a year. How much are you going to pay Rodgers? He's not going to take.
I heard the contract was a 1 year, $33 million contract.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, 1 year. The rumor was that he wanted a 2-year contract with $60 million, and we're really offering him the 1 year, 33 because because he's an older quarterback. You don't want to give him multiple years.
41 years old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't want. Yeah, that goes same for any team. Like, why would you want to give any 41-year-old quarterback multiple-year contract?
True.
And the rumor was Russell Wilson. He was asking $20 to $30 million from the Browns. So I think that's his asking price for any team.
I mean, the Browns make some sense I'm hearing a lot about Deshaun Watson trying to come back and it's going to be better than ever and all this. But if I'm the Browns, I would definitely sign Russell Wilson. I think that would be a very cheap play. And, you've got some decent weapons on offense and the defense is still pretty good. I mean, they could be pretty formidable. What do you think, B?
Yeah, but I think it would be pretty funny if Russell Wilson signed with the Browns because, we signed him last year and Kenny Pickett was our quarterback.
Yeah.
And as soon as we sign him, Kenny Pickett asked for a trade out of here.
Y'all are
Now
playing
that
like
Brown,
round robin, man, with all these quarterbacks. They just like circling around the wagons and coming back to each one of the teams.
oh, it's a headache, man, because like the Steelers, they bobble the quarterback position since the last end days of Ben Roethlisberger. They should have been looking for a quarterback.
Yep,
It's been a headache, and Tomlin clearly don't know what he's doing. He's a defensive guru. He hires yes man. Like he needs to get an offensive coordinator in there that knows how to develop a quarterback.
right.
And I don't think Arthur Smith is that man.
No.
So what do you think about the addition of your addition of DK Metcalf to your receiver?
It's a great addition if you get him a quarterback to go along with it.
That's true.
You know, him and Pickens together, you know, that's an unstoppable duo right there. You get him a quarterback. How do you stop that? Like I'm not like saying guaranteeing victory here, but that's going to be a hard duo. That's going to be just as good as T. Higgins and Chase, I think.
Yeah. You got to remember something too. The only thing I don't like about that whole situation is DK Metcalf is a guy that has extreme talent, but the problem with him is he takes plays off a lot, and I don't like that. He's lazy. He's a lazy bastard. He is.
Yeah,
I've seen him
too.
just not playing. I mean, he's got when he first came in the league, I loved him because he had the stature of Calvin Megatron, and he's just as fast and he's just as big. He's got good hands. He knows how to run pretty good routes. But as his NFL career continued on, it's like he took plays off.
He crashed out.
I mean, there's a couple of times. You know, he made the ESPN highlight by running down somebody when they got a pick, like the Cardinals game when he ran down. Who was it? The one that they're trying to trade.
Buda Baker.
Yeah. Buda Baker. Yep, Miranda's
Buda
ass
Baker.
down after
that was a pick six. Yeah, that was the most effort he saw him play.
And that was
he's got speed.
That was a Russell Wilson too.
He's got speed, but he's just
he's his own worst enemy.
I hope he's a better player. Yeah, I hope he's a better player with Pittsburgh than he was with Seattle.
Did you hear? We came up with it. Did you hear the new nickname for Pickens and Metcalf? They call them the Super Crash Out Bros.
Super Crash Out Bros.
Yeah, that's their new name here in Pittsburgh. The Super Crash Out Bros.
That is true, Brent. He said that. Yeah, he's good for a few personal fouls. Yeah, he does get a lot of penalties. He mixes up with a lot of players. Another thing too about DK that I think is interesting is we compare him to the Sun God in this aspect. So the Sun God led the NFL in 73 first downs.
He's compared to the Sun God.
Well, I'm just saying in this aspect because I'm comparing both of these two guys. So he led the NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown led the NFL in 73 first downs out of his catches. 73 catches went for first downs. DK Metcalf scored 37 first downs out of his catches. So that tells you that he's either not being utilized right or he's not effective on the third down plays where you need the guys to move the chain. He's just a big play threat guy, which we all know he can do that. He's a hell of an athlete. But I think one thing about going to the Steelers, hopefully they will get more out of him and they will expect more out of him, whether it's blocking, whether it's, making those short passes to get first downs, not just be like, hey, we're going to throw the ball 50 yards downfield and you catch the ball. We know you can do that, but we need the short yardage to move the chains. And also too, hey, be a better blocker because, the Steelers love blocking receivers, Hines Ward, Randall L. Emmanuel Sanders, all those dudes could block.
Don't forget about Plexico Burris at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So DK could definitely block. The son of a bitch is huge. Unless he looks like Tarzan and plays like Jane, he's a big guy. He should be able to be a good blocker. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be like a new chapter for him. And I'm anxious to see how he plays in this offense.
Sorry.
Yeah, Darius Slay is another guy. Darius Slay's another guy that is an addition to your team too, and I think that's a pretty good addition considering you got Joey Porter on the other side. Do you feel the same way about that?
I'm just hoping this ain't gonna give me Pat P vibes. You remember when we signed Patrick Peterson, right?
Patrick Peterson. He's better than Patrick Peterson.
He's better
Patrick
because
Peterson.
you know what? They were the same age, you know, because when Slay is 34, when we signed Pat P, he was 34. And I've been hearing that Darius Slay can still play.
Oh yeah,
you know, he can still play, but since it's the same age and kind of like a different contract, obviously, different kind of player. This is like I was getting Pat P vibes at first with this signing, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Darius Slay balls out, man. I think he's actually going to be good.
I think, he still can make plays. Like he's a playmaker. I mean, he intercepts the ball. He plays the ball well. You know, I think he's going to be a great mentor to Joey Porter Jr.
He is no Darius Slay better than me. So, I'm just I know him from playing with the Lions back in the day. I loved when he played with the Lions. Like
I wanted to bring him back. I wanted to bring him back to Detroit, but we got DJ Reed, so I'm not mad about it. You know. But I love Darius Slay. I would love to finish his career. For 1 year, $10 million. I see a lot of Steelers fans on Twitter think he's gonna be a nickelback. No, he's number 2. He's 2.
He's number 2.
He's never been a nickelback. Never. I think he's always played on the outside.
These new young Steelers fans these days, you got to school them, man. You know, like I'm sure Yin's got the new young Lion fans. Yin's got to school too.
Mm-hmm. So something that caught my eye, TJ Watt is 31 years old. Man, where is the years gone? He's 31 years old. What is the future? What is the future for TJ? Yeah, what is the future for TJ Watt in your eyes? Do you feel like
he's here until he retires?
Think he's gonna be a Steeler for life?
Yeah, he already said he's a Mike Tomlin guy. Like when Mike Tomlin leaves, he'll probably want to leave. If Mike Tomlin don't leave, he's going to stay.
Okay.
He already said that multiple times in interviews and everything.
Let me play a hypothetical for you. Let's say the Steelers start off really bad, you know, like they go 0-5 or something like that. Do you consider trading TJ Watt to get some draft capital, or do you think that you just rock with TJ Watt because I think he would have some value in other teams.
You asking me, or are you asking what I think what the Steelers would do, or you're asking me what I would do?
What do you think the Steelers would do? Yeah,
it all depends about the compensation. Like if because TJ Watt, he's not no bag of Funyuns. I'm not going to trade for no bag. I'm not going to trade for no bag of Funyuns. You know, hypothetically speaking, if I would want picks, I would want picks like all picks, no players. Hypothetically, but we'll go by what the Steelers do. They would never trade him. But personally, I would trade him. But I would wait till after the season so I can take more time with it and see if I can get as many picks as I can. Because normally when you trade at the deadline, you do a rush trade and you're going to get normally ripped off most of the time.
Right. And you mentioned Mike Tomlin. I think if the Steelers struggle again, this could be the year that Mike Tomlin finally is gone. And I think that you would definitely have to trade TJ Watt because you got to get younger and you got to get assets to get a quarterback, and who knows who's going to be your coach and all that.
Well, you say that every year, but Mike Tomlin ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin ain't going nowhere until he retires. They're not.
Mike Tomlin,
I was pushing like that too for a while. Ask Robbie, I was like, yeah, they're going to push him out because he's not being effective. He's getting winning seasons, but they're not going anywhere once they do, and they still have him. He's not going to go anywhere until he retires.
It's just crazy. Go ahead, B.
If Mike Tomlin ever gets fired or leaves, you're going to see a rebuild in Pittsburgh. The players, Minka's going to want out. TJ's going to want out. Cam Hayward's going to want out. They're all going to want out, except for offensive players. The defensive players will be gone.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm going to go back to what B said. I think that since it sounds funny to say, he's had how many winning seasons? Like 15 or something like that, plus winning seasons?
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
He's been in the league since 2006, I think, right?
Yeah, I think as funny as it sounds, I think if he had one losing season, it was a really bad losing season, that would be justification to move him out. Like as much as
Yeah.
I think that they're loyal to the Roonies are loyal to their coaches to the fault, I think that would be a big push to push him out if they had a losing season, or let's just say they had only like a couple of wins or something like that. You know, I would definitely think, okay, we need to rebuild this team.
The main reason why I would not want Mike Tomlin to leave is because I will hear nothing but Steelers fans talking about we should hire Mike McCarthy because he's from Pittsburgh. And like, I don't want Mike McCarthy. Maybe as offensive coordinator, but not a head coach. Yeah, I would have to hear that for like nonstop until we hire someone about Mike McCarthy this, Mike McCarthy that, because he's from Pittsburgh. We got to hire him.
Yeah, Brent brought up a good point. He said Tomlin's staying put as long as he wants to, I think, unless he goes off the rails. Yeah,
Tomlin is Tomlin is like the real owner of the Pittsburgh Stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Art Rooney Jr.
are very loyal. When you have three coaches in so many decades, that says how loyal your ownership is to your coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and they were good coaches too. They weren't slouches like Noel, the Chin, and then Tomlin. They've all been winners and they've all won rings. So I mean, they're not like your Joe Blows of whatever. I mean, they're good. They're good coaches. They just Tomlin just hasn't been able to get over the hump lately.
The Rooneys are very patient, you know, and Chuck Noll won. Chuck Noll didn't win at first, but I think he had a rough couple years first, and then he started winning. Mm-hmm. And then he started losing at the end of his year, and then that's when Bill Cowher came. And then Bill Cowher was like back and forth with winning. He would have like 2 good seasons, then he would have losing season, winning season, losing season. He'll just keep going back and forth.
Right.
I think you got to look at it. You got to look at it as a business thing too. I mean, the Roonies are looking at that like it's putting asses in seats.
Yeah.
So,
but Bill Cowher,
Tomlin's going to win if he's going to win every season, that means they're going to get ticket sales up to wazoo. So until the ticket sales falter and they don't believe in, and the fans don't believe in the team anymore, or he starts going on this losing crusade, that's the only way he's going out the door.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like when you've won that much, like it would be interesting to see what happens if he had a losing season where let's just say they won like 3 games. Like what would the fan base and what would the organization want to do going forward? Do they continue to stay with Tomlin or do they say, hey, the hell with this? We gotta tear this all apart and redo
that would depend on ticket sales. So like are people still coming to the games? That's the problem right there. If fans don't stop coming to the games because of one losing season, then Art Rooney should tell Tomlin, not fire him, but tell him your seat's hot.
True.
Your seat's hot. Get it together.
Let's talk about the draft a little bit, Mad. What are you thinking about the draft? What is your thoughts right now? You guys are drafting number 21, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do y'all move up for a quarterback or do you take the best player available? What are your thoughts? What are you doing?
I don't know, man. I've been hearing rumors that of course you got Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. They're going to go like top 3 or top 5. Mm-hmm. And then I heard the Jets at 7 could take Jackson Dart. And if they take him, there's no other quarterback that you can take in the first round. You'll have to, in that situation, if there's no quarterbacks left and the Steelers don't move up and we're still at 21, they will have to take that defensive tackle from Michigan, Kenneth Grant. D-line is in need.
Yeah, then, I mean, Cam Hayward is getting old for sure.
No second-round pick, so possibly we can get Jalen Milroe or Quinn Ewers in the 3rd round. That'll be because I heard that's Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers projected round is 3rd round.
I don't think those guys make it 3rd round. I think maybe 2nd round.
Well, I'm just going by what I hear, you know.
But also too, y'all wined and dined Milroe recently.
Yeah,
I don't think you wine and dine a player if you're going to take him in the 3rd round. That's all I'm saying.
There's also rumors that they're going to try to trade up and get a quarterback. Like possibly, I heard they like Shedeur Sanders. And then there's rumors that if he falls, I'm not saying they're going to trade up to top 5, but if somehow he falls or one of them quarterbacks falls, I can see the Steelers trading up and getting one of them.
I can see that.
How you feel about that?
I heard they like Jackson Dart, and Jackson Dart. I heard they like him the most.
So what you're saying is that there are possibly going to be 3 quarterbacks drafted in the top 10.
Yes, that's what from the Jets are high on Dart, and Cam Ward or Sanders are going to go. One of them's going to go to the Titans. The other will probably go to the Giants. Unless the Giants are happy with
Giants. They got JMO. They got 30 for 30. I mean, they might kick the can till next year and just see if they can win with Winston this year. If they suck, they just get a high draft pick.
If they don't take Shedeur Sanders, I think he drops. Or Cam Ward. Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders.
I think he's taking a quarterback with the first pick.
I don't think Shedeur falls past the Jets.
I'm here. I see Cam Ward going number 1 in like every mock draft I've seen to the Titans, and I see
the Titans are in the same situation as the Giants are. They have a quarterback. It's whether and next year is when the quarterbacks come out, the good quarterbacks come out, the better ones come out.
In Cleveland,
Cam Ward is probably the best of the quarterbacks that are coming out, but he's not. He's still not.
Hey man,
this draft kind of reminds me of the draft that Kenny Pickett was picked in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
That was a bad QB draft. That was a bad QB draft. Not even one is a starter. Not even one's a starter in that whole top 5 quarterback.
Baby hands.
Pickett went number 1.
Baby hands is gonna light it up in Cleveland.
All right, Matt. I got a question for you. So I do agree with you. I do think Cam Ward is going number 1. I think that's a done deal. However, they still have Will. Hold up, they still have Will Levis on the team. What if the Titans called you and said, "Hey, would you trade for Will Levis?"
No, I don't want him putting mayonnaise in. I don't want him putting mayonnaise in any of the players' coffees.
Oh my god, what the heck?
No, keep him.
All right. I'm just curious. I mean.
Well, he had like one good game since being at Tennessee, and that was against the Falcons.
Mm-hmm. You know what? In order for Pittsburgh to succeed, they have to have a quarterback with experience on their team. Only because they have no quarterback whisperer on their team right now. Yeah, and Mike Tomlin's not an offensive guy. Definitely, Arthur Smith isn't. So
that's the problem with Tomlin. Like he really needs an offensive guru, like offense corner. Arthur Smith is not that dude.
Yeah, you can't bring in a quarterback that's a rookie and think they're going to be successful. Obviously, the Kenny Pickett experiment exploded in their face because it wasn't Kenny Pickett's fault in general, because you put him in a bad situation first by drafting him number 1, and 2, putting him on the same team that he had a history of a failed relationship with Matt Canada as far as performance wise. So why would you draft a quarterback in the first round, first of all, and then on top of that, get him and join him with a guy that he had no success with when he was an OC at his school? Mm-hmm. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, that was more about the optics. I mean, he was from Pitt, bring the hometown boy home. And
yeah, they didn't want to repeat history, because they didn't draft Dan Marino 30-something years ago. No, they didn't want that to come bite them. But
that's a dumb reason to be drafting somebody.
Yeah. You know what really hurt the Steelers?
That's just like having the Jets go off of players to get free agents by going off their Madden rating. That's just dumb.
What happened? What hurt the Steelers is when they let Bruce Arians go. When he was, but old or not, but like look at he's old, but he's still good as offense coordinator.
I agree, but also too, I think that y'all gave up on Pickett too easily. I mean, I know he wanted a trade, but dude, you could have had Pickett now and had DK Metcalf and Pickens.
Well, I know we gave up on Pickett, but he had 26 starts to prove himself.
Here's the thing. Y'all didn't have shit around him, okay? A lot of times these quarterbacks fail because you guys don't put stuff around the quarterback. Yeah. And when Pickett was the quarterback, all you have was Pickens, dude. And Fryer.
No, he had Deontay Johnson.
Oh, I mean, Yeah,
And Deontay Johnson.
But he's not DK Metcalf. He's not DK
That had nothing to do with Kenny Pickett.
No, he's not DK.
You had Canada as an offensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
it was Matt Canada. That was the problem.
Point right there.
You got all these offensive weapons. You got all these offensive weapons, but
keep the quarterback. That's what I'm saying, because he was a young quarterback that, hey, he's still got talent. I mean, he's not everybody would expect him to be, but I would
Matt
like
Canada.
I would like to see him with DK Metcalf and Pickens and Freiermuth. That's a better.
Matt Canada was a terrible. It'll be 2nd and 18. He will call a jet sweep.
But you could always fire the OC. That's not a big deal. The OCs get fired all the time. What I'm saying is, y'all moved off a young quarterback and got nothing in return, and now he's going to go play for the Browns. And what happens if he plays well for the Browns? Steeler fans are going to flip shit if that happens,
Oh, they'll do more than flip shit.
Well, they pretty much ruined his career, I think.
Yeah.
No, they sent him to Philadelphia to be a backup, and then he got one game. I guess he played. Yeah, he played one game last year because Hurts was out. But
Brian said it best one day. He had Matt Canada in college, and Kenny Pickett was terrible under Matt Canada. And then as soon as they got rid of Matt Canada for his senior year, he had his monster year, the 40 touchdowns and like 9 interceptions. Yeah. Even Brett knows the deal. Matt Canada's offense was predictable.
I get it, but again, you can move off of the OC. You gave up on a young quarterback who went in your division. And let's just say what if he plays well? It looks like more crap on the Steelers' face because y'all moved off a young quarterback when you got the receiver in DK Metcalf and Pickens and Freiermuth. Not to mention you let Najee Harris go, which I was a big Najee Harris fan. So I mean, you could have had a really stellar offense along with a damn good defense, and now you're talking about a good team. Now you move off all those dudes, and now you have no quarterback. You have 2 receivers that are very high maintenance receivers, Freiermuth, who I like a lot, and you have Warren you brought back because you didn't re-sign Najee, and you have a good aging defense, but they're still good. So I don't know.
I think right now the Stars are putting all their eggs in a basket for Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't know why they're bowing down to this idiot. Like, honestly, I would go with Mason. I would go with Mason and draft a quarterback. What's going to be the big loss here? You'd have a losing season.
Okay,
that would be Pittsburgh conceding a losing season. That's what that is. Again, Mike Tomlin.
But every year, everybody picks us to have a losing season. Even with Mason, we had a winning season with him last time he was a starter.
Let me ask you this: over under 5 wins with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback.
With him, we went 10-7. Well, the last time he was a starter, we went 10-7 and lost to the Bills in the wild card.
So you're gonna go over, or you're gonna go under? I would go under.
I'm gonna go 9 wins. Because Tomlin, he has these winning seasons. The worst he can do is probably 9-8. Even though I hate that winning season record, you know how much I pray for that to stop. It's at best or 9-8.
I'm not trusting Mason Rudolph that win that many games, but that's just me.
Why? Because they would rely heavily on the running game and pretty much like put a shell around Mason Rudolph so you don't throw the ball that much.
Mm-hmm.
And don't
get running back.
And let's face it, Stars, we win games off of defense.
Fair.
That's the formula.
You got to put up points too. I mean, I don't know what Mason Rudolph's completion rating is overall in his career, but I mean, you got 2 stellar receivers.
So in the division,
kicker in the NFL right now.
We're guaranteed at least 4. We're guaranteed at least 4 wins in the division.
Not with Mason Rudolph, bro. Maybe you beat the Cleveland Browns.
We beat the Ravens with Mason Rudolph. We beat the Ravens with the Duck.
That's anomalies sometimes, sir.
You remember Duck Hodges, Brian?
A win's a win, though.
Yeah.
I'll give
win's a win, man. But
B's right. A win's a win.
But you know what? I'm going to be real with you. I hate that winning record. That winning record streak. I hate that. That's all that's talked about. I hate it.
I mean, you look at teams. Do you think a lot of teams would like to have 15 seasons of winning seasons? I mean, I would.
Yeah. But this year is different. Next year's still a tough schedule, man.
There's expected more out of the Steelers because of the franchise, because of the rings and all that. It's expected more that they need to win more and be in the big dance and win the big games. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year. Before we wrap up your segment, what is your record this year? Just kind of give us a ballpark idea. You don't have to give us.
If we sign Aaron Rodgers, 10-7, 9-8, 8-9 at worst.
Okay, it's fair. All right. Well, we'll have
8-9 at worst, but
be interested to see how the Steelers go. I'll be watching them from afar, see how it all develops.
Would I be surprised if we get like 4 or 5 wins this year? No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it could happen, man. It really could. Yeah, but Mason Rudolph as your quarterback. No, Aaron Rodgers maybe. I don't know how good that line is to protect Aaron Rodgers. Division.
Rodgers had good stats last year if you look at him.
He was fair.
He had 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He was 5th in touchdowns.
But he's going against some good defenses in that division. Browns defense, the Ravens defense, the Bengals won't be that good, But I'm just saying.
The only way the Browns beat the Steelers is only on Thursdays. We can't beat them on Thursday night footballs. For some reason. A bad year is splitting with Cleveland.
We'll see. All right, Hat. Well, thank you for sharing your Steeler talk with us. We are going to turn the page to our Lions because this is the Lions show.
Cool.
All right, B. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our free agent signings recently. Oh, you got them all set up there. All right. So I'll go down the line here. Tight end Kenny Yeboah, Kyle Allen. Hey, he's a Steeler. DJ Reed.
Can we have him back?
Lopez. Yeah, you can give it Kyle Allen. Avonte Maddox, Grant Stewart, Rock Ya-Sin. That's probably my favorite name in the world. And Kenny Yeboah twice. It's all good. All right.
That means he's twice as nice.
Yeah, exactly. He's got number 88. All right, B. So I don't like to give grades because it's too early. You got to see these players on the field and kind of see how they all fit. But just give me kind of like a grade so far with Brad this offseason. And you can include the re-signings too overall. Like what kind of grade would you give Brad so far in the free agency?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like that too. I don't like giving grades out until after I see him perform because it's really not fair to the whole situation because these guys could either ball out or be punks. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think what he did, Kenny Yeboah, he got because right, left. And I like that, right, left. Anyway, he left off a free agency, so Kenny Yeboah is his replacement. Mm-hmm. The quarterback situation is interesting why they signed Kyle Allen because they still have Bridgewater still hasn't been re-signed yet. We got Hooker, and of course we got Jake from State Farm. So on the practice squad. So we'll see what happens there. I think somebody is going. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Bridgewater or if they're going to make him a coach. I don't know what their decision is on him yet. I think that's the person that they're relying on right now to find out what's going to be going on in their quarterback room. But as far as their cornerback room, DJ Reed, Avonte Maddox, and Rock Ya-Sin, I think they had a very good upgrade in that room. DJ Reed is a upgrade over CD. Avonte Maddox and Rock Ya-Sin are upgrades over what we had in Vildor, and I'm thinking they're going to be getting rid of Emmanuel Mosley. Mm-hmm. So those will be upgrades right there. That's tremendous. If you got a good a backup secondary like that, that's even better. That's probably the best secondary we've had in a long time.
A lot of depth,
including the ones that we got right now. Yeah, it ain't even about the depth; it's about the player quality.
Well, that too.
We got a lot of quantity, but we got quality.
But when I say depth, I mean like Rock Ya-Sin and Avonte Maddox have played and started in the NFL. So they could start in a pinch if something happened to TA or something happened to Reed. But if God willing, if those two stay healthy all season, your backups, you're looking good, because now if people throw 4 wide sets out, you can put those guys out there and trust them to play good man-to-man defense,
And I mean, other than that, the other 2 free agents, Roy Lopez and Grant Stewart, who's a linebacker, I think that's a depth thing going on with them.
Right.
So sometimes you get free agents just for depth purposes because, you can only reach so many spots in the draft. And so you can see kind of what their target is. I don't think they're going to be drafting a linebacker, and I don't think they're going to be drafting a DT, because we got plenty of those. We need defensive ends, and I think that's what they're going to be going for. I don't think they're going to be drafting a cornerback. They may draft a wide receiver, though, so don't be shocked if that happens.
Yeah,
and an offensive lineman.
And on that note, too, like I was thinking about this earlier. I really love what we have in the CB room and the LB room, because you re-signed Derek Barnes, you signed Stewart, who's a special teamer but also could be a starter if in the pinch. You brought back Nowoski. You still have Jack, you still have Alex, you still have Rodrigo. Like, you've got a very deep linebacking room, and there's some other guys we haven't even mentioned, but we have for those guys that we've mentioned, we have those dudes. And then you look at the CB room. The CB room's good. Like, I'm very happy with the CB room. 1 through 5, we're good. Just God willing, we stay healthy. And you have Rakestraw, who hasn't even played yet. And so he could even develop himself. So, yeah, Brad did a hell of a job addressing those 2 rooms. Obviously, D-line is the draft. I think that's pretty much, we all know that. D-line is where Brad is going to win in the draft. That's where he's going to go his next focus.
Yeah, but specifically defensive end. D-line, I think, is defensive tackles. I think we're good at.
For sure.
I just think that unless a D tackle, Ron Thomas. See, there's another guy we could have on too. He's an Atlanta Falcon fan.
Oh yeah, Ron.
What's going on, Ron?
We'd love to have you on for sure. We'll talk Falcons. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think defensive end is what his focus will be on. And if a defensive tackle that catches their fancy, that they've been watching in the draft falls to them, they'll probably get them too. But I just think defensive end is going to be something that they're going to hype on in an offensive line. And like I said, they might get a receiver. I don't see them going anywhere too much else.
I agree with you, B. It'd be very hard to see the Lions take a defensive tackle in the first, because you have Roy Lopez, you have DJ Reader, you have Mack, you have Wingo, you have Martin. You still have a lot of good depth there. We definitely need another end. Even though we signed some ends, and we're about to talk about that, we signed some ends. We definitely need that starting end if we don't bring back Zadarius Smith. So, what do you think? What do you think, Matt Hatter?
When we talking about the Lions off-season additions.
Yeah, just what we showed you.
I love the 3 cornerbacks you signed. I love the 3 cornerbacks. Roy Lopez, he's obviously he's depth chart. Same with Yobo. Am I saying that tight end? Yobo.
Yoboa. I think it's Yoboa.
Yintzera, what? Three solid signings at cornerback. You got depth chart fillers. I don't like giving out grades. I'll just say Yinz had a good offseason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know. I don't like giving out grades.
All right. We're going to move to the re-signs. Yeah. So these are all the players that we re-signed so far this offseason.
I don't like some of them. Well,
all right. Tell me the ones you don't like.
I don't like it. There's a couple of them I don't like.
We know. I know one you don't like for sure, but go ahead.
Yeah, we're not going to mention his name because we already know. I don't like the Anthony Pittman signing.
Okay.
But I think that's, again, I mean, all this is for depth, I believe.
Special
Ezekiel
teams,
Turner. Ezekiel Turner's another one I don't like. I hate that one because it's just
he'll probably be on the practice.
Couple of the other ones, couple of these other ones are pretty good though. Like, you forgot we had Michael Neese, and
I like the Barnes.
Barnes.
Muti and Patrick
is good.
Patrick too.
Yeah, Patrick was a great re-signing. I'm glad they did that.
And I always liked Craig Reynolds, the running back.
Yeah,
him and Al-Qaeda and Muhammad. That was another one. That was a really good re-signing too.
Talking about Nice, B. I think the reason why he moved off of Coyote was because of Nice. I forgot about Nice. They like Nice a lot, and I think Nice was hurt for the most part. I think last year. So
the D liner, like the Levy, I can't pronounce his last name. Zuki K.
Onzurike.
I like him.
Yeah, you got him on a 1-year deal. I'll take that. I'm not mad about that at all.
No, he's solid.
One of the guys I really like is Aquahin Muhammad. He showed some skill. I think that he's going to be in for a larger role in the rotation. Obviously we're probably going to draft our starting in opposite of Aiden, or we bring back Za'Darius. But Aquahin Muhammad is a guy to look at in the rotation that's going to get a lot of playing time. Really strong guy, good at setting the edge, can get some sacks here and there. Just a real gritty guy, and that's Lions love those kind of dudes. Just very hard nosed.
The one that I want to like is the Marcus Davenport, because that dude is always injured.
Oh, he had to go there.
Please.
Yeah, no. I mean, here the contract. He's not getting. Hold up, man. The contract is not that big. It's all incentivized. It's not even really anything. He's getting paid pennies if you look at it from an NFL standpoint. It is what it is. He could easily be cut by this 53-man roster. It comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big issue. I think the Muhammad signing lessens the blow of the Davenport, because a lot of people were worried about with Davenport re-signing, if they were going to sign guys like Muhammad, or they're going to sign, are they going to add other pieces along with whatever they do in the draft? And so obviously Brad is signing both of them. Donovan,
yeah.
Where's he from, Brent? I don't know. I've never heard of that guy.
I really like the Derek Barnes. That's like my favorite one on the list. I like Derek. I always like Derek Barnes.
Yeah, and you brought him back on a pretty friendly deal. It wasn't expensive at all. Like, you paid him, I think, $8 million a year. That's like 15th in linebacker, 22 in linebacker. That's not bad at all. I mean,
Craig Reynolds. Ever since I watched that show with the Detroit Lions, I think it was I forgot the name. That's when I've been a fan of Craig Reynolds, man. Like, he got one of them like comeback stories, like the hero stories and stuff.
Yeah, another guy who just plays hard.
He's from Boston College.
Okay,
6'2" guy.
Another guy that plays hard. Like he's been a Lion for a long time, and hey, you brought him back on a really cheap deal. I'm okay with it. You got a deep RB room there. You got, of course, Sonic. You've got Knuckles. You've got Netflix, and now you've got Baki too. So I don't think the Lions will go. Yeah, that's what they call him. Netflix.
That's Craig Reynolds.
Yeah,
they call him Netflix.
Yeah.
So they call him Netflix because he was watching Netflix when they called him to come up.
Yeah. He was on the couch.
He was on the couch watching Netflix. Which is going to be. I'm going to show you this other list, which is going to be the ones they haven't signed yet, and this is probably going to spell doom for Jameer Jefferson, because he's going to be the odd man out.
Yeah,
because they're going to keep Reynolds and I'm surprised
they got that Colts guy. I think took his
you just got Quan.
Yeah,
we don't have him signed.
Okay.
We have him signed.
YINTZER Quan. I like Quan.
Yeah, he's lost a step.
He's lost
Emmanuel Mosey's again up there in age.
He's getting hurt.
Yeah. B, what I would like the Lions to do with Teddy Bridgewater, and I don't know if they'll do it with him, but I would like, we lost JT Barrett to Chicago. He was the assistant to Brew, the quarterback's coach. I would like to see if they would give that option to Teddy Bridgewater as an assistant. At some point, Brew's going to retire, and Teddy Bridgewater, I think, would be a great QB's coach. He's a good mentor already. I don't know if he wants to coach high school football. I mean, he won a championship, so I don't know.
That's probably what they're banging about right now on that whole situation, whether he'll come back in a capacity of as assistant coach, quarterback's coach, or if he wants to go back to the high school and do his thing. because you remember Teddy Bridgewater did lead that high school team to a championship. So you never know. But they did tell him he had to go back to the Lions if they won the championship and play quarterback for him, in which he did. So, I mean, I don't know where that leaves him and the high school. You never know. The whole thing about the high school in general, if they want him to come back to coach, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. But at the same time, we need a quarterback's assistant, and this is where Teddy Bridgewater can go from his player to his coaching mode. And really hone his coaching skills in the NFL so he can be an NFL coach one day. I just don't know how. I don't know what they're banging out with that one. That's why the Kyle Allen quarterback situation, to signing him, kind of is a telltale sign for him, maybe.
Let me ask you about Kyle, because he played for the Steelers. What do you know about him, or what are your thoughts on him, or what is the Steelers like? How did he play with the Steelers?
He really had not much said. He got a good character. That's why I like him. Good character, but playing wise, he only came in for one snap. He made a good 20-yard pass, but it was
20 yards. All right, yes.
It was more his character that I liked about him.
Yeah.
Plus, he did play for the Jets. He did start a game for the Jets and looked pretty good.
Yeah, I know him from he was a quarterback at A&M, very highly touted player. He was supposed to be the guy at A&M, and then the coach got fired or had some ruffle with the coach, and he transferred somewhere else. And so I do know that he's got talent. He's got an arm. He just hasn't really worked in the NFL. I mean, but as a backup, I'm okay with that, because if Teddy doesn't come back, I think it says more about Hooker. Like, what's the thing with Hooker? Like, is Hooker on this team going forward, or are we trading Hooker? Like, what do you think, B, about that?
I don't think much about that one. I think that's going to probably be more if they add him on there and put Teddy Bridgewater as whatever Teddy Bridgewater chooses to do. I don't think he's going to be re-signed as a quarterback, to tell you the truth, now that I'm thinking about it. Hooker will stay with us. I think they need a viable. I think Jake Fromm will be gone. I think they will put Kyle Allen in there as our third quarterback behind Hooker. I think they still have hope in Hooker. I don't know what they're going to do with it, though. They need to do something, because it's getting on my nerves that they're playing around with them like that.
I think they're going to let them both compete, Hooker and Kyle Allen, for that backup spot, and Fromm. Yeah, I agree, Brent.
Well, that'd be interesting. I don't know how the NFL rules work for that, as being a coach and then being a player too. I don't know how that works for the NFL.
Yeah, he's been elite.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
What's up, Sonia? You could keep. You could keep the whatchamacallit. You could keep one of the quarterbacks on practice squad pretty much all season. Unless they were trying to pluck him off. You could protect him. So I would expect the Lions to run at least two quarterbacks. I don't know if they're going to run three on the 53-man roster. You
think Brent? You think Fromm is going to survive, huh?
I like Fromm. I mean, he showed some skill in the preseason. Again, it was preseason, but I'd like to see more of it. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Jared Goff like we always do. So let him duke it out.
He sure did outplay. He sure did outplay Teddy Bridgewater, and well, to a point. And who we have that was there too? Who was the guy that we had that we didn't like at all? They were trying to keep hold of? Who was his Nate something? Anyway,
Sudfeld.
Yeah, not Sudfeld.
Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah, so
Sudfeld, I remember him.
That's Fromm was way better than him, and they played in the same game, and he just turned that game around.
And Fromm it just came onto the roster. He really didn't have any practice time, and he looked like he was throwing darts. So I would like to have seen him with more of the ones and twos rather than just the threes. Really see how good he is. But I think they like him too.
Jake Fromm was a career backup.
Yeah. Well, that's what he is. I don't know why everybody expects something to happen.
Yeah, none of these quarterbacks.
Kyle Allen's he just never really got a start in the NFL. He never really got chances. Kyle Allen.
Suckfeld. I said Suckfeld, Brent.
We did. Yeah, we corrected it. I said Sudfeld. He said Suckfeld after he said Sudfeld.
let's set the record straight. None of these quarterbacks are even touching Jared Goff. Okay, we just need a solid, viable backup in case Jared Goff goes down.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I hope none of them touch Jared Goff.
Stetson Bennett, maybe. I don't know. Georgia quarterbacks are hard to gauge. Like they play really well in college, and then they come to the NFL, and it's like they're not that good. I don't know.
Well, except for Stafford. Stafford is Georgia
quarterback,
and
Stafford
had Super Bowl. So
yeah, you saw that coming in college. That guy could just throw it everywhere.
Yeah.
Who's Sonya talking about? She's talking about
Fromm or Bennett.
They used to talk about Bennett.
I think it's Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah, Bennett's had some ups. He's had some ups and downs, but hey, hopefully he gets his stuff together. He's on the Rams. Can learn from.
Is she talking about that Georgia quarterback, Sam Bennett?
Stetson.
Yeah, he's on the Rams.
That's on the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, he's backing up Stafford.
He's in rehab, ain't
he?
Actually, he's backing up Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh,
Jimmy G.
It's porn star Jimmy and then Stetson. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Sonya. I was telling B that. Yeah, their whole freaking defense is for Georgia Bulldogs. It's crazy.
I wouldn't say 5 players from their defenses.
We call them
more than I've seen on the team.
The Georgia Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Philadelphia Dogs, what they call them. The Philadelphia Dogs. He's out of rehab.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. He's out of rehab.
Yeah, he was having some drinking problems or some drug problems. I don't know. Hopefully he got right.
He came into the league. He was what was he? He was like 25 when he came into the league.
Yeah.
And from State Farm.
Again, they're backups. So I mean,
Yeah, exactly. We're just talking about somebody to
You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that, Brent.
Yeah, we're just talking about somebody to have Jared Goff's back as far as seeing things on the field that he's not seeing and stuff like that.
Yins call them Philly Dogs. I call them Jagoffs.
I think Kyle Allen could very well be perfect for us. Like I want it to be Hooker. We've seen some flashes with Hooker. I need to see more throwing ability with Hooker. I know he can run, but we don't want him running all the time because he gets concussed. We want him throwing the ball, and
you want him to be that.
College.
You want him to be that dual threat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's respectable.
Must be laughing at our Hooker reference again.
We need a Hooker.
Yeah.
Hooker. We need a Hooker beep or something every time we say Hooker.
I don't know, man. Every time someone says the Eagles, I get mad. I don't like the Eagles.
We're still on, Sonya. I mean, if you want to come on, you're welcome to. We're just chatting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk about the draft, B, because that's a big topic for the Lions. So we are number 28 in the pick, right? 28?
Yep.
Yeah.
28.
28. Okay, 2 minutes. All right, cool, Sonya. Thank you. All right. So the big question is, I think we all know Brad's going defensive end. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go defensive end. The question is, do you sit and take who's available there at that spot? Or, as Brad always does, do you move up, give some capital away to get the guy you want? What do you think?
I think that because the draft is so this year, I think the best players are in the top 16. And I think that if they're going to move up, if they're going to get an impact defensive end, they're going to have to move up in the draft. The other way I can see them going is basically giving up their number one draft to somebody so they can have two number one drafts next year. That could be a possibility too, because you got people that can fill in. You got people that can fill in right now. When you draft, those people could be fill-ins. So, you might get a diamond in the rough, but and Brad's pretty good at finding those. But I just don't see anybody in this draft that is worth anything past the 16, 17. It's just it's a hard draft.
Yeah.
It's a hard draft.
Let me ask you this question. If Zadarius Smith gets re-signed before the draft, does that change your perspective going into the draft? And if so, how?
I think it'll change the Lions' perspective of the draft, because then they'll probably draft down, because there's a lot of good defensive ends in there. In fact, Brent did recognize one of them, and that's a lower pick. That's a second to third round pick, I believe that one is. So if they can give up give up their first round pick and get another first for next year, and give up like maybe a 6th and a 7th and a 1st just to get a first for next year, then they can, they'll be set. But yeah, I think that if they bring back Z, that means they have confidence in him starting. They have, they got Muhammad, so he's going to be a backup on either side. I mean, they had to get Marcus Davenport. Dude, I hate that guy. I don't hate him personally. I just don't like him as a player.
I can feel the disdain in your face, B. I could see it all day.
But even with that, if they draft a defensive end in the second round, he can that'll be their project. So he can just be behind somebody and learn from the process of Aiden Hutchinson and Z. So that would be good too. I think there's so many ways they can go depending on what they do in this next couple of weeks, because the draft is in April. So we're almost up on April. We only got another week to go until it's April.
Yeah, and Brad's already taken care of two of the biggest rooms, in the linebacker room and the cornerback room, secondary room. Like, obviously we could add a safety too at some point. We can get that later. It's not a big deal. Or we could sign somebody at the low end safety. But he's took care of both of the rooms, so it's pretty much the D line. The D line.
That's the other
room.
one I was thinking about, the safety too. Yeah, I forgot about the safety.
Yeah.
We need a safety.
Safety, but you need someone opposite of Aiden.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest hole we have on the defense yet. And people are, it'd be great to get Henderson, but like I said, the Lions aren't going to pay that money. They didn't mind giving up the draft picks. That's not the problem. It's the money that's coming in the future for him.
And 31 years old. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just say that it's a spot where I think Z would have been perfect there. He's got enough. He doesn't have to have a 10 sack production season. That's what Aiden Hutchinson's for. That's what he's for. You just got to be a power enough on the other side so that people respect that, and then they got to pay attention to the defensive line, the tackles themselves with Reader and Aline. So you want to get that defensive line stabilized. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I think regardless, if you bring back Z, you have to draft some kind of end in the draft. You got to get more depth. Like, we saw our depth go very quickly. And I still think they could bring back Kaminsky too, which I think would be huge.
Kaminsky, I like John Kaminsky.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean, he was in my opinion, that was one of the biggest losses we had on defense that nobody talked about. Like, because when Aiden went down and Davenport went down, you could slide Kaminsky into that starting role and you'd be fine, because he's a solid guy who could set the edge. He can get you some sacks here and there, but he's relentless. He's puts pressure. Like, that was a huge loss, and we lost him before the season started. So I mean, like, that was a big loss. So I mean, I would bring him back. Like, Brad's bringing back some of these other players. Kaminsky deserves to come back. He's a Lion. He's not going to cost you a lot. And then on top of that,
that's right.
In my mock draft, I got the Lions taking a D lineman. Michael Williams out of Georgia.
That would be nice. He's a D tackle, right? D tackle?
Edge. He's an edge.
Oh, he's an edge? Oh, okay.
He's an edge.
Oh, Michael
Williams.
He's an edge. Yeah, he's a top 4 defensive end.
He got athleticism, and he has a lot of upside.
Yeah, and we're gonna dive into some of the ends, since the end is a big need for us. We're gonna dive into some of the end prospects and later shows, talk more about it, and look at tape.
I'm gonna go as far and say I think Michael Williams is the second best defensive lineman in the draft.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that dude play in Georgia. That dude is a monster.
The only thing I caution about Georgia players is that they play a lot of players. They don't put a lot of guys in there with a lot of snaps. So
That
what
is
you
true.
see are more flashes of how good they are. You know, you don't see them on every down type because they use a lot of rotations. You know, so that's the only thing I caution you on. Talent-wise, they recruit the best. I mean, look at Philadelphia. They have a lot of the talent right there on their team. You know,
if you look at it, late first round, it's a low risk taking them late first round.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's like a second round pick.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that. And,
Yeah,
and I'm with B on this. Like honestly, she got her Ducat. And honestly, I'm with B on this. Like, if we get Zadarius Smith or we get somebody else, I'm all for trading down. All for trading down. Because I could, Brad could get more assets and more picks to go for next year or even this year, and just keep adding the depth that we need. That's all we really need. We don't need a lot of starters. I think I've identified 2 starting positions on this team that we could upgrade at. Outside of that, our team's stacked. We're good. We just need depth. That's it. Just good quality depth. Hey, Sonia. How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Sonia.
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Sorry,
on.
I'm surprised you're still not. I'm surprised you're not watching your Dookies.
Oh, it's a blowout.
Because
they're blowing them out.
I'm already, I already know we're gonna win, so I'm not giving it much energy. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm too busy cleaning out my closet, and that's how I forgot it was.
Oh dear. That's a fun mission to complete.
Yeah, because
I thought she was singing Eminem song.
I'm getting ready to move again. Like I'm selling my house. I moved last summer, bought a new house, but this neighborhood is not what I thought, and so I'm gonna move again. And so my house is about to be listed next week, so I gotta clean everything.
Yeah. It's a process.
Which I'm just curious. I know it's a little bit off topic, but what's going on with your neighborhood, man?
Oh my God, guys! So listen, they went straight. What is it? 8 Mile Road in front of my house, and as long as I've been alive, I've never had nothing in no neighborhood that I've lived in. But back in January, it was broad daylight on a Saturday, and there was a shooting right in front of my house. Nobody was hit. God. Nobody was hit. 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Kids out, everything. Nobody was hit. However, my truck was hit, and I drive a 2019 Infiniti QX80. You do not. Why the heck do I have a bullet hole in the back of my car?
Oh dear.
And my mailbox. Terrible. And so I was like, absolutely not. It's the grace of God, because I didn't even hear it. I was in the back of the house showering, listening to music and stuff, and I went out, saw a flat tire, and thought that I just had a flat tire. Matter of fact, it was the day after I cut my hair, so I was like, man, I must have been excited. I drove over something. Then I go around the back of the car. I go around the back of the truck. You can literally hear me, because I have cameras all over my house. You can literally hear me talking to myself like, dang, I must have ran over something on the expressway. And as I'm walking behind the truck, it had snowed like a few days earlier. So I saw that there was like a bullet. Like, I didn't know it was a bullet. I thought somebody had just took a, what's that dog? Had took some type of tool and just like popped the back, try to pop the back of the metal part, the chrome. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm about to go look at my camera because somebody's playing. And so I went in, never knew, y'all, the police had already been out front canvassing the neighborhood and stuff. I had missed all of that in the back of the house, not even paying attention.
Wow.
And so, of course, everybody was giving up their surveillance. 4 of my neighbors have put their houses on the market since that happened. And because this neighborhood is super quiet and we just have no idea where it came from. And I know that could have happened anywhere, but I'm sorry, not my vehicle being shot up, because I usually let my pup out. Yeah. He could have been hit. The mailbox was hit 2 times. 5
Jeez. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Sonia. That's scary, and that's a good reason why you want to move.
Yes, and thanks, thank you guys for your support. YINTZER, you guys gonna get Aaron Rodgers?
I hope not. I hope not.
Hey, Brent. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Don't you put that evil on me, Sonia.
Listen. He needs a job. He needs a
Sonia,
job.
You got your G card now. You got a bullet hole in your car. That's automatic status right there.
I told y'all I was good, but I didn't want to be like that.
You survived. You survived. Salute to you.
Thank you. Don't let the face card fool you. The makeup is nothing. For real, I promise. Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So your day's going good. Other than that,
yeah, I went to church after this morning. That actually happened in January. So thank God I had a birthday 3 weeks later. So I got a chance to see another birthday. So I'm definitely okay. And so today, I went to church. It's so nice here in Atlanta. It's almost 80 degrees again.
Oh wow.
And sunny, but 2 days ago it was 48. So you just never know.
Yeah, it's 86 here in Texas. So yeah, I get
yes,
you.
yeah. I mean, people be saying they want the heat, but y'all don't want the heat because this is my theory about the heat. You could be cold and always put on more clothes. But if you get hot, you could be naked and pouring sweat. And not trying to be TMI, but when I moved into a house years ago, like when I first moved to Atlanta, I was painting the house I was moving into. Not trying to give y'all a visual, but for real, I took all my clothes off because I didn't have the AC unit on yet in my new house, and I was pouring sweat. So that's why.
So you were like hotboxing yourself in your own house, painting.
Yes. So you can really be naked and still too hot. So I rather prefer the cold.
I'm not gonna lie, I do have a visual of that right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that why YINTZER got off the call? Is that why he jumped off?
We don't know for other reasons. He might have.
Aaron Rodgers might have done it when I asked him about Aaron.
He didn't like the Aaron Rodgers comment.
I'm sorry, YINTZER, come back.
He's a Mason Rudolph fan.
Oh, for what? For ... For
he's holding out hope for his own.
He may as well hold out for Rudolph.
He calls him Mason MVP Rudolph. That's what he calls him.
He may as well hold out for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer before he holds out for that cat.
So Sonia, I gotta say this: I have not seen Duke play all year. I think I saw him play in the Clemson game, the one they lost. I'm impressed with Duke.
Thank you.
Like I almost regret not picking them to win it all. I took Florida.
Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, I have Florida and Duke in the championship.
I know,
but it's just Duke's so young. They're talented. Like they're gonna have like 4 top 5 players in the NBA very soon, but they're just so young. They start 3 freshmen,
and they come in hot. Like
they look
like
good.
Yeah,
Baylor's a good team, and they're beating them by 21 points. Like they have not won a close. They have not been in the close game yet.
This hat is waiting on a new championship shirt.
That's a nice hat.
I didn't have time to grab my T-shirt real quick because I had forgot you guys were on. I actually had on a wife beater, and then when I came on backstage, I realized like my underwear straps were showing, so I hurried and threw on this other shirt I had.
Sonia tell all today. That's the show's call
listen.
today.
I'm one of the guys.
On a Sunday too.
Hey.
That's when you keep it the realest. You gotta be truthful.
Hey, you repent. You repent, and then you sin again.
Yeah, I knew you guys would know because I'm being truthful, so it's no sin.
Yeah,
I knew you guys would like the shirt because
what we're doing is sin.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know, but that's I knew you guys would like this color shirt because it's the color of the Panthers color that's closest to you guys's, and so this is one of my Pantherette shirts. I have them in black and teal, not advertising.
I like that, yeah.
But yeah, it's for my little fan club. But yeah, I knew I'd blend in.
Some would say that's Cowboys blue, but
Absolutely
this is Lions blue.
Cowboys blue is like a navy.
It's kind of like a navy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a navy. But at the same time, I mean,
you got color?
That color, the color that the Carolina Panthers is called Carolina blue.
Yes, it is.
So you have a Carolina blue. And then Honolulu blue is the Lions. They look a little bit alike, but they're not. If you look at both, they're not.
And let me tell you how I know it's Carolina blue. Because when I got the fan club and I was ordering these T-shirts, it took me like 6 vendors to get. This is as close as they could get.
Oh, wow.
Because the color is patented, and it's a combination of Duke and UNC Carolina's 2 teams. That's how they come up with it.
Interesting.
Yep. So be Strilla be on it.
So tell me,
I do a lot of color shifts anyway for these teams, so I know they're.
So tell me, Sonia, if Duke wins a championship, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go?
Oh my God! First of all, I'm already planning a trip in June with some of my friends and girlfriends to wrap up the Big 5-0. We're going on a cruise, so that'll be part of my celebration. But I'm gonna first of all go get a whole bunch of new Duke stuff. Anybody that rides behind me knows I've been a Duke fan since I was 14, which was in 1988.
Respect. You didn't just jump on their bandwagon, so I respect you for that.
Absolutely. I've been like Coach K was the only coach I knew forever. And I do know how to pronounce the name Krzyzewski. Okay, so for those people, you got to know how to say it. Now I don't know how to spell it because it's got every alphabet in the world, but I know how to say it. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ball out with more Duke stuff. Every time they win, I go through a whole like, let me go get new cups, new everything. Like I'll have a whole thing. And
she does it all there.
Yeah, this time I think I'm gonna invest in a like a windsuit or something. I'm gonna get a jogger or something like that, so I can be just duped down, like for when classes start. Because one of my professors is a huge Carolina fan, but and he graduated from Carolina Law School, but his wife, who is a judge, graduated from Duke. But they met because the two schools are close. They met when they were in law school, and so now they're married. So it would give me no other pleasure than because classes are out now, then to go up in there and represent Duke hard next semester. Just come into class the first day, just Duke down.
I like it. So let me ask you this question.
Did you say that overrated?
No, I said it ain't over.
It ain't over yet.
You gotta remember this.
Yeah, because he even got Duke in the. I think he got Duke in the last 4, but not even the last 2.
It's gonna be some good battles. Let me ask you, Sonia. Is Cooper Flag going to the NBA or is he going to stay in college?
No, he's got to go to the NBA. He's had a very close call last week with that when they thought he broke his ankle. I mean, you got to think about it. He is the number 1 sought after player and the number 1 college player right now. And for him to wait, that would be so you know how timing is everything. Hold on, guys. I forgot I had gum in my mouth. That's so rude. Please forgive me.
I could.
Timing is everything. So, for instance, one of these freshmen you talked about, Nate, it doesn't even have to be on Duke's team. It could be on another team. They come out of nowhere and they're just blazing it. All of a sudden, Cooper is no longer number 1. He's number 2 or even number 3. You have to strike while the iron is hot. So, for the purposes of not getting an injury in college, because he's already had a close call, we don't want another Zion Williams situation, even though conditioning is not the issue. It could just be an injury. Zion had some issues in college that carried over. Go ahead, and a healthy Cooper is a paid Cooper. So take him while he's
I like that. Healthy Cooper is a paid Cooper. I like that.
He has no injuries. He has no negativity to bring to the league. And everybody is going to be seeking him. And he needs to go while he's a definite number 1. So he goes to the league. I
tell you why I'm excited about Cooper, and it's for different reasons. Like, well, 2 of them. First off, I mean, he's white. I'm gonna be real. We haven't seen a. We haven't seen a really good white player, an American white player, come into the league with his kind of start.
American is the key word.
Yeah,
people don't
realize that. And that's my other point is that when you look at the NBA's landscape, all foreign players, like all the best players are foreign. We can all agree on that.
Just like baseball.
Right, exactly. So to have a guy like Cooper Flag from Maine, of all places, Maine, okay, all the way over there in Maine,
the silent people.
Yeah, I'm excited for his development into the NBA because I think that he's definitely going to be a big name that people are going to galvanize and get behind. Because we've been clamoring for an American player to come into the league. Last person was LeBron James.
Yes.
It's been a minute. The guy still played 22 seasons, so he's still playing now. So it's been a minute since we had a player of this caliber come in, and I think he's going to do really well. It just depends on where he's going to land. But yeah,
when you're coming in, that's the thing, y'all. Just like the NFL, when you come in number 1, you're going to the worst team ever.
Yeah.
So you're not going from top to top, and that's what we kind of not really trying to harp on the NFL, but that's what kind of fans, at least with me personally, tend to forget. Okay, yeah, these guys are in the NFL. They're going to have a moment to acclimate, but they're going to the worst teams too. They're not going to a dream situation. So to say, oh, they suck and they're nothing like they were as a Heisman is, you know, a miscue, because you got to give them a chance to acclimate now to a team that's not the best. You have to have time to build really good talent around them. I want to plug one small thing in that I don't think you're going to bring up. We're talking about Cooper. We're going to go back to Cooper. Juju Watkins has surpassed Caitlin Clark's record as the #1 all-time scoring female basketball player of all time, and she is 19. She's 19. She's 19.
That's another big name player that America can get behind is Juju Watkins.
I love her. She is, and I watched this I didn't know who she was about 2 years ago, I guess. Maybe has it been 2 years? Whenever she came in, they did a whole documentary on her on Netflix. I was like, who are they talking about? I started watching it because she looks like some of my cousins, and she wears her hair like I used to wear my hair like that as a kid, like the bun or in the back. That's all I ever wore it. And I was like, let me see who this cute little girl is. And like, she's just a total package. And to be 19, she's the equivalent of Simone Biles and Coco Gauff, who were kids coming in. And now we see the maturation. And so I'm tying all that into Cooper. Cooper also needs to strike while he is young. And just like you said, Nate, Maine is that area that's kind of the forgotten area of the United States. It's almost like they pushed him on up to Canada, like, you know, Northeasterners for real.
It makes even more of an American story. He came from Maine, of all places. He didn't come from like the Midwest. He didn't come from the California. He didn't come from Texas. He didn't come from New York. He came from Maine.
He's up
you don't get any more American than Maine.
He's up there by Plymouth Rock, almost where the settlers
Lobster land
of Boston.
Lobster land.
He's a traditional presumptive #1 pick, and it's the thing is like. So today, you know, he was questionable to come in, but he did play. I guess they're doing a game-to-game. Whatever's going on with his ankle, they're just kind of keeping an eye on it. But me and Strilla talked about something the other day. I really don't like him playing these whole games right now. When you got
playing a lot when this was a blowout,
you got a 20-point game lead. Why are you playing him? Me and Strilla talked about this Friday with the guys. I agree. Put him out there a little bit, keep him warm. He should not be out there all 4 quarters. He should not be out there both halves, because he is now in the heightened sense of injury prone.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Kenny the Jet and Charles Barkley and those guys were talking about how they should kept him out. They don't know why he played so many minutes on that and the first game. The second game, I can understand playing more because Baylor is a power school.
Yeah, and you're trying to win.
And in the beginning of the game, like in the beginning of the first 5 minutes of the game, he got poked in the eye, and he was out there like this.
See, I ain't
looking out one eye Jack.
Like
but he was all right. He's all right.
Well, if you take him out and you see you started that the gap is starting to close, then put him back in. It's not like he's out permanently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard, Sonia, because Duke's going for a championship.
Oh yeah,
like they have a lot of talent, and I think after this game, they're gonna have even more people talking about them, along with what Florida.
Yeah,
you know, you need your best players out there. I agree with you. I think like if you're injured, don't play. Mm-hmm. If you're hurt, everybody's hurt. It's just the nature of the game, you know. But if you're injured, don't play, because the injuries will hurt you going into the NBA, because you got the combine, you know, scouts are looking at you, you know, they don't want you to have that tag of being injury prone or anything like that, you know, but I think he'll be okay as long as he doesn't take any like serious falls. But the problem about the basketball is you can roll your ankle very easily. Yeah. Very easily.
And I'm going to tell you, thanks to the hype around Zion Williams, who now is injured again. It just came out 15 hours ago. People are going to simulate that with Duke, and that's why I say Cooper needs to go now before anything starts happening, because it just doesn't take much. Not that it would mess with his stock, you know what I'm saying, as far as being number one, but it could be the difference in $1 million or $2 million, because they might be like, well,
Sure.
you know, he did have this injury. We're not sure. Look at Zion Williams out there with the Pelicans getting a check.
Yeah, definitely. People are more hesitant in the NBA about taking players that have had some injury issues lately, you know, because you put a lot of stake in the franchise player. And if they're known to be hurt, it's a big risk. That's a lot of money that you're putting into a player.
They're saying the Wizards are a top prospect for him. I was just looking at some notes here while we're talking about it. The Wizards, you know, he could really go there and flourish and really, like, in my opinion, be like a Luka Doncic type, you know.
Yeah. I think he's got some Tatum in him. Like he reminds me a little bit of Tatum.
Yes.
You know, the thing is that also with the draft that we have to understand with the NBA is the NBA is different from a lot of drafts. Like the NFL, the worst team gets the first pick, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
In the NBA, it's a lottery and it's a percentage. And look at San Antonio. San Antonio did not have the best odds to get Wemby. They had like the 4th or 5th best odds, and they got Wemby. You know, so really, you could take a team that doesn't have the best odds, and they could still possibly win Cooper Flag as the number 1 pick. So it's going to be interesting because I would like to see him go to a decent team because he's going to be marketable and he's very good. But you know, hey, I think he could revitalize the franchise too. So
how did they?
So I got 2 breaking things coming in here. Robbie left because his power went out.
Oh,
and
all right,
it's official now that the Duke has beaten Baylor 89-66. That's the final.
Yeah,
and Kentucky and Illinois are getting ready to play. So
there you go, Robbie. I hope everything's okay with the weather.
Where does Robbie live?
He lives in Pittsburgh.
Oh, what they got going? Well, okay. Well, congratulations to Duke, of course, of course. But can you explain, because I'm looking at that percentage thing you were talking about. I didn't realize that clearly. The Portland Trail Blazers right now have a 2% chance of getting the number 1 pick. That's what they're saying on CBS Sports. How does that how do they choose that? How does the lottery work?
So it's just it's a lottery ball. Like they put them in a little thing and they just spin it all the way around and they pull out a lottery like no different than any other lottery. Like San Antonio, I think San Antonio, the year that Wemby came out, they had like a 5th or 6th best chance of getting Wemby. And they end up jumping a lot of teams that were worse than them to get Wemby as the number 1 pick. So I don't like it because I think that, you know, I think the worst team should get the first pick, you know, but they kind of do it to create parity, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because, I mean, that helps your player because
Yeah.
maybe Cooper goes in and balls out with a good team. You know, maybe he's not going to be, you know, doomed from the tomb.
Well, I know San Antonio, being in Texas here, San Antonio's really hoping. They pretty much went the tank mode with Wemby going out and Fox being out for the year. They're pretty much hoping that they can get luck again and try to get that number 1 pick because they want to pair Cooper and Wemby together, which would be insane.
That would be crazy to get get number
That's
1
a lot of
pick.
length. Shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got Stephon Castle? Wow.
Yeah. And
so speaking of which, both the Pistons and the Pelicans are playing at the moment. Detroit is winning, 2:21 left in the 4th quarter, 121-115.
Yes.
Neither of the stars are playing, by the way.
Kate's not
Williamson's not playing, and Kate's not playing. Kate's got a sore ankle, so he's not playing. No. So you got
basically for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was a Pistons fan when y'all had the bad boys.
John Sally, Lambeer.
Bill Lambeer, all them. Listen. And then I even like them up to the point you guys had Dennis Rodman, and then I kind of I don't know. You know, the Carolinas don't have professional.
No, you don't. Really, you don't want to do that, Brent.
So then, you know, then you have to go with other teams. And I don't know what made me start liking.
Yeah,
love them.
That is true, Kevin. It is preventing from tanking, but still, teams are going to tank regardless. It's just creating.
My stats now, or it's still giving me 0.
It's just creating parity. That's
it's still
really
giving you 0. I checked it this morning.
It's just.
Sorry, Nate. Go ahead. I'm gonna.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was just answering Kevin's comment. It's just creating parity. They want to see other franchises have chances to win their best players so they can boost their franchise. Because, let's be honest. I mean, look at the NFL. If the worst team won the first pick every time, I mean, they could still suck, So how you want to spread the wealth, but that's just the worst team's always going to get the best pick. So you can't do anything about it.
I mean, you got to look at it like this too. It all starts from the front office. If you have a very good front office, and you get draft picks, you can make something out of it. A lot of these teams that get these draft picks don't have a very good front office. The Pistons were one of those. We had a stretch where we were getting we don't never have any luck in the lottery. That's for dang sure we don't. Cade was our luck. Cade was the lucky one that we got. Other than that, we don't have any luck in the lottery.
Ivy got Ivy up there
so many times.
Ivy was up there, top 10. Oh, yeah. Ivy.
He hasn't.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, you can get the number 1 pick, or you can get the top 5 pick. It's what you do with it. What matters? Who you draft. I mean, you talk about the Pistons. They took Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Well,
that was one of a bad move by Joe Dumars. That was not a very good.
Yes, Joe Dumars.
It's hard to swallow that one.
I mean, he put together a championship team. Let's not bash him.
He got him all. He got him all.
You can't get every one of them right. We could have got.
Darko got a championship. Oh yeah, over Melo.
Is there a way that you could hand grade mine, Strilla? I can't.
I'll try to do. I got to figure out how they.
They're not gonna give me.
I got to figure out how they do the percentage on there. I'm not sure how they do the percentage, but if I'll do some homework on it, and then I'll.
You know what though? It won't matter once Duke wins it all because I would have gotten that right, and so.
Sure.
Sonia, who's your Final Four? I don't know if I asked you that question the last time I was on your show. Who's your Final Four? Oh snap! Who is my Final Four? Strilla. I know you got Duke. Duke's one of them.
Duke. I got all number 1s. Duke.
Okay.
She got one that's a low seed though. That's coming out of Houston's bracket. I know that for a fact. All of them not number 1.
Okay. Everyone but one. Tell them who I have, Strilla. I'm sorry, Strilla has my paperwork.
He's the man that speaks for her.
He is.
Control.
I have.
She's got Kentucky in there instead of Houston.
Okay. Well,
I know she likes Kentucky. Now. That's why she got Kentucky up there because she likes Kentucky.
Well, you just like the blue. You just like the blue team.
I do. You picked it right up. That's exactly it.
The Blue Bloods, they call it.
The Jayhawks and the Wildcats have both eliminated Duke before, so that's why I picked those. What's the other ones I have, Strilla?
You got Auburn, Florida, and of course Duke and Kentucky.
Okay, so Kentucky's your only one that's the outline.
Your final is Florida and Duke.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I have Florida and Duke in the championship.
She's got Duke winning 78-75.
Oh, you got a score! Wow.
She got.
It asked me for a score.
Okay,
yeah.
I got Auburn. Yeah, I got Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Duke, and then I got Florida and Duke in the championship, and I got Florida winning it. I think I'm changing my mind because Duke looks like a damn good team.
It'll be
a good final.
I almost picked Tennessee. I got them in there for a little bit. What's your score then? If you say Duke versus Florida?
Ooh, now you put me on the spot here. I'm gonna say Florida by 10. I think
over
it's
Duke. What about you, Strilla?
You know I ain't got Duke in the finals.
I know you got.
Unfortunately, one of my Final Four team got eliminated already. That was Gonzaga. Damn it! But Houston surprised me a lot. They surprised.
Houston's
me.
good.
They came
Houston's
out
good.
banging.
Yeah.
And they get to play Purdue next, so that'll be interesting.
Who did you have Duke losing to? I'm curious.
Right.
Arizona. Arizona's an
A
experienced
lot of people
team.
have Duke losing to Arizona because of the experience of Arizona. That is going to be a good game.
Is that the one with the coach, Patino or whatever?
No, that's St. John's. He's out.
That's St. John's. Yeah.
Oh, they got out.
St. John's, they lost. Mm-hmm. Yeah, St. John's got beat by.
Man,
yeah,
I was really hoping they're going to
Arkansas.
go farther. Yeah, they lost by to Calipari, Battle of the Italians.
Yes.
Pastrami on the house.
I'm gonna do like
the
Baker
only bracket that I'm
Mayfield did.
surviving in right now is the South bracket, because I have the final two being Auburn and Michigan State. Everybody else, I got one team eliminated from already. Wisconsin oh God, I figured Wisconsin was going to choke.
Yeah.
Oh, B, I gotta eat some crow. My Aggies lost to your Michigan Wolverines. Son of a bitch.
Now, don't mention it, man, because I don't think they're going to beat Auburn, so don't worry about it.
I got them going far. I
don't care. They're up by 10 and then they lose by 10. Who the hell? How the hell does that happen?
I need to see if I can pull up my sheets.
And I don't even know how the hell that even happened, to tell you the truth. I was watching that whole game, and I was
15-2 run.
How is Michigan even winning this game?
Because we can't score shit. That's our
Well, USC just declared they are in the Sweet 16. University of South Carolina women's basketball. Dawn Staley, the gangster of the South.
I tell you what.
And who's from USC? Hold up. Who's from USC?
Juju.
There you go. Juju.
I tell you what, like I don't usually watch a lot of women's basketball, but I will watch the championship if it's Juju versus Dawn Staley.
Juju balling.
That would be a hell of a final to watch.
Juju is with where?
USC.
Yeah, it can be, Kevin. There's no doubt. Because talent is not
USC,
just going to win you; it's going to be coaching and other players.
Yeah, she's with USC. That's what I was just looking at her profile.
Yeah, you got to play your best game in order to advance. It's not how talented you are; it's whoever plays the best game, and it's a one-game elimination. Win or go home. That's what I love about it.
I mean, if you look at it, it's any sport. It's whatever team goes in there hot that usually does really well or gets hot at the beginning, because like Duke went into the tournament hot. I think Michigan went into the tournament hot too because they won the Big Ten. They kept winning games after that. Michigan State, they didn't go into the tournament hot because they lost in the Big Ten to Wisconsin of all teams, and Wisconsin lost. So, I mean, Michigan State's more of a bracket team anyway. They're not the best seasonal college team because they'll lose to teams like Duke or they'll lose to teams like Auburn or something like that. But then they'll come through the tournament and wipe everybody off the face of the planet. But that's what they're built for. That's what Izzo has that team built for. And that's the same thing that Coach K used to do with Duke. He used to have that team ready for the tournament. It wasn't so much the season, even though they kind of did dominate the season a lot of times. But when they went into the tournament, this is prior to his last days being there, last year's being there. They were a dominant team in the tournament. And you say Duke, you better be like, oh, we got to play Duke. Damn it.
Yeah, that's
right. The kind of stuff you'd have.
You're right, B, because the hotter you are coming into the tournament, the more momentum you ride. And, if you're not winning, that too. If you're not winning late in the season, it's not going to transition to the tournament more likely because your confidence goes from here to there.
So, B, I guess they're not letting you look at my scores, but I just went on the app and I pulled up my bracket, sweetie. And they say right now you have 37 points and I have 59. I have a total of 140 and you have 78. So, sweetie, I'm good. I'm good over here. Okay. So don't tell me about my boys.
Hold on. But you know the reason why you got 0% is because you put in everything after it started.
I'm putting stuff before it started. Let me tell you what happened.
Technicality.
Now, hold up. She copied it off of what she had before.
Thank
you.
But
the NCAA bracket doesn't recognize that because you put it in after the submission.
Right. I didn't know about B. Strilla's bracket, and I was doing my own thing. I had printed out one and filled it out.
And I asked B if he was going to do one. He said no. Son of a bitch.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do a bracket with you. Whatever.
That's right, Brent. Thank you.
That's the only reason I didn't do a bracket because you said you didn't want to do one. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." I'm like, "God damn it!"
Absolutely. Okay, we didn't bet. Oh, but guess what, honey? It says I've got 42. So I don't know how to look at this thing. 42 points. Points REM is 134, and upset points. I've been upset by 59 points.
So do y'all have a little wager going on that you want to let the world know?
We may as well be. What's up? What up, though?
You got to discuss the terms before it happens.
Yeah, I know.
After.
I put him on the spot. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it
this is-
offline.
this
We'll
is-
talk about it. We'll talk about
But
it.
that's all right because that's all right. You can have your little March Madness thing, Sonya, because when it comes down to fantasy football,
Oh,
you ain't
Lord.
messing
Here we
with
go.
Oh no, fantasy. Let me tell you, last year I was in second place like the whole time. This is my third year doing a fantasy with my brother-in-law and some other guys, and they put up $50. I was trying to get that pot hard. I made it to the playoffs.
Can I give you one advice when it comes to fantasy football, Sonya?
I know what it is, but go ahead.
Don't bet on your own team.
Absolutely, and don't bet on your favorites either.
Yep. Well,
I learned that the
favorites
hard way.
sometimes, but I would be more like don't bet on your own team.
No,
No,
don't. No, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I wouldn't draft like the Lions defense or stuff simple and stuff like that. Maybe I would draft Amon St. Brown because he was pretty good in fantasy. Jahmyr Gibbs was really good in fantasy. Goff is not the best fantasy quarterback, but he can get you some points in a backup role. I mean, there's some players I would draft off my team if I had a chance to draft them. They did real well for me last year. I had Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon St. Brown because I always get Amon St. Brown.
So when you're in a
it's
draft,
hit or miss. It's hit or miss.
Well, I couldn't pick everything because in a snake it rotates. So you gotta wait and see who's coming back. I had the first pick and I heard and grabbed Amon St. Brown. The first year I did it, I was grabbing quarterbacks off the rip, not realizing that you don't do that. And
I don't know about that, Brent.
Yeah, and so then
I don't know about that either.
Lord.
Well, Brent, this is the one I don't understand. When I looked at this, I get the Duke beats Kentucky thing, okay, but Texas Tech upsets MSU. Oh hell no!
Oh
hell
no!
The hell! They're not even get past the next round.
I mean,
they got to play Arkansas next. They ain't beating Arkansas.
But they're not beating Arkansas.
They're not beating Arkansas.
What round?
Arkansas took that game.
Okay, now look at all my check marks.
But I will say this, Sonya, about
Sonya,
players in fantasy. You can draft your players like later on in the draft, like your 6th, 7th, 8th picks. Like that's what I would take my own players because I know my own players more than I know some of these other players.
Let me tell y'all, picking up Xavier Leggett, I ended up switching him out. It was the worst.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that coin, Aaron Rodgers, I had him as a backup quarterback. He got me 67 points one Sunday.
That's a good one. I like that.
So the next games I've got, Auburn I picked Auburn to play Michigan. They gave me a check mark on that. Wait.
Yeah, they're going to play tomorrow. Or no, they'll play next week. Next week. They'll play Thursday. Yeah.
I got a bunch of check marks, Strilla, and that was way after we started. The only thing I got wrong was Marquette.
What? Sorry, Kevin's comment was crazy. I don't know about that one, buddy.
Oh, Lord. Yeah,
actually, no. You say that's crazy, but in fantasy football, Bo Nix was lighting it up.
Right, but you didn't know that going into the season how good Bo Nix was going to be. That's my point.
Him.
Well, I would have taken part of fantasy football, though.
Yeah, I would have taken Mahomes over Bo Nix.
Bo Nix was getting me 52 points.
Mahomes is starting to do this.
Yep.
This is what Mahomes is starting.
He's still Mahomes.
Mahomes doesn't play that.
Mahomes is what's the product of his team, to tell you the truth. He's starting to become what the product of the team is. So
possibly.
Bo Nix Bo Nix was lighting it up because I got Bo Nix off a trade waiver. I started him one game because I couldn't put in my other quarterback, which was Lamar at the time. I couldn't put him in there, so I got Bo Nix. And Bo Nix lit it up.
Do you play through?
Oh, if he picked it up, that's fine. I'm saying drafting. Yeah, you're not taking Mahomes over. Maybe after this year.
ESPN.
There's a majority we play through. We play through NFL.com. I think ours was NFL.com, wasn't it, Kevin? We do ESPN. I haven't done the CBS one yet. I don't think I've done the CBS.
I had a Yahoo one year.
NFL.
Yahoo, that's the other one. Yeah, Yahoo.
But that one is when I did pick'ems, like the actual games. I like to do those too.
Well, if Michigan beats Auburn, dude, I might have to say yeah, but dude, I mean, that would be a team they could beat. Because Auburn's been pretty shaky in their last two rounds.
I got Auburn predicted to win that
But they
game.
did beat Crichton, though.
I got Auburn predicted to win that game and play Michigan State in the next round.
There you go. That's what I got.
That's what I got in my bracket. Yeah. I'm so glad that I checked my own scores because you just been telling me 0. I knew it wasn't true. I knew.
No,
some
percentile.
malfunction.
Hold up. It's percentile. Not this. You asked what the percentile was. Your percentile is 0. Everything else you got to score.
How do you see the percentile?
It should be on the on your far. What's this? Right side of you.
Far right.
Right side. They're looking at it.
Oh, you're killing me with these discussions.
I don't even see it.
It should say your overall. You see your overall rank.
To the far right? On my bracket itself or on the home screen?
It should be on the bracket.
I don't see nothing. Wait.
B, can you put it on the screen and show her? Teaching moment?
Oh, yeah, I think I can.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. You're right. I see it, B. It's at the top right.
Yeah.
Overall percentage, freaking 0. That means failure.
Well, and that's just because you put in stuff afterwards. That's all.
Yeah, they didn't count you. They didn't count your stuff.
And the tournament rules there. So yeah, for that.
So I'll be 0% the whole time.
Yep.
Because you did it afterwards. Yeah.
These people can suck my.
Wow.
I censored myself.
I know you. Yeah.
My beep. Okay, well, at least I can keep up with the brackets though. So thanks for that. Be sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Be streezy. Nate, what's yours?
So I wasn't lying. I was not lying to you about your
I'm
percentile.
I apologize. I was wrong.
Well, I didn't do a bracket thanks to B because I asked if they were going to do a bracket and they said,
God.
I'm not doing it. And so I didn't do one, but I did make my Final Four. I have Tennessee, Duke, Florida, and Auburn.
You got your own, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It's funny, Kevin. People be asking me about that wildly enough. And I'd be like, who?
Oh, did he say
It'll
what
be like, who? You know what OnlyFans is. You just don't partake in that.
I really did not know until maybe.
Well, you're talking about painting naked, so that's a start.
There you go. That would have been a great OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
You would have got moolah for that.
Hell yeah.
People be always talking about my feet. They be like, because I be on TikTok. They be like, let's see your feet. I be like, oh, yeah, it's got a pedicure. God. I didn't know that people really be like.
Foot fetishes are a big thing in America.
Let me tell you guys. And when I tell you I don't have nothing wrong with my feet, people always have talked about that my feet are pretty. I don't think nothing about it. But now I've had I know there's a classmate that's on OnlyFans because they park right beside me all the time at the school and they have all stuff all over their car. And I'm like,
oh my God, all these cameras.
They're paying for law school doing OnlyFans. I wonder what they're doing, but I won't look right. And so somebody was like, yeah, you really should do it. Because people know I had to come up with some extra money last year for school because one of my scholarships didn't cover everything. So it was super stressful. And that's when I first heard about that I could set up an OnlyFans. They were like, girl, you don't have to show your face, but your face would be an incentive. I'm like,
there's like
absolutely
I think there's one called like feetography or something. I don't know. Yeah. We're not going to go there.
I did not know that. And I just did not know that. And one of my classmates was on my TikTok one night and he was like, oh, I guarantee you when you showed your pedicure, it got SS. I said, what's SS? He said, screenshot. I guarantee you. I said, what? And I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, I feel horrible that someone's doing something really ill to my pictures. Like,
in today's world,
let me tell you something with the feet thing, Sonia. So you said you got pretty feet. I've never seen a foot picture of you, so I can't judge either way. But anyway,
I would
you
show it, but
you've got pretty feet.
I'm gonna rein this show back in, y'all. Go ahead, finish your point. Finish your point, y'all. Finish your point.
But the thing is that if you get an OnlyFans, you got to make it seductive too with your feet. You can't just be taking foot pictures. You got to like oil them up.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Sounds like he's been doing that.
Crazy.
No, I've heard this from people. Trust me.
Nate, I'm so sorry. Every show I get on, like people start listen when I.
It's all good. I'm
Yeah,
gonna rein this back in a little bit because this could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, when I googled
a lot of ways
my prim and proper show now, Gemini said that I'm known to be entertaining and funny. So I was like, okay, well, I bring the laugh.
You are definitely entertaining and funny. You bring the juice.
Sorry,
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
But you did ruin your image and my image of you being saintly because talking about you painting in the nude. I'm sorry. I'm a man. I just pictured it the wrong way. Sorry.
The comfort of my own home, and I was thinking how hot it is.
All right, I'm gonna rein this in, Kevin. Don't be an enabler. I'm gonna rein this in.
Right, Kevin.
He don't like feet. He just don't like feet. Don't take that the wrong
way. Sonia, talk to me about your Panthers. What's it looking like in the draft? What are you hearing?
Speaking of
what noise are you hearing?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been kind of quiet a little bit. We got some rumblings going on. We got Dowd from the Cowboys. Dowd. I always pronounce his name.
He's a good running back.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah. I just hope that he can help alleviate some of that pressure off Chuba Hubbard. Because Chuba is a solid contender, but
yeah,
it's just
you guys just paid him too. He just got paid.
Yep. And the only thing is that I'm concerned about is building the defense. The offense looks like they're finally in place where they need to be. And yes, he did have over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he was pretty solid for the Cowboys, and they were bad.
They're saying as of 3 hours ago, hang on, some breaking Panthers news. Hang on, guys. Let me look at this.
Here we go.
He's probably thinking, thank God I got traded to the Panthers because I can't stand the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right?
They still got Stewart.
Okay, listen to this. This is a whole little paragraph, and it has something to do with the Cowboys again. They're thinking the Cowboys are going to trade up to our number 8 overall pick. And part of the package that they're talking off the record is basically a number 12 overall pick. So they want to move up.
So y'all swapping your first round picks.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a quarterback, ain't they?
They're saying that they went with they had them bringing in another elite weapon for quarterback Bryce Young. Let me see who the name is. How about that?
They don't have any Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers, the switches. Something about Heisman Trophy finalist Ashton Genty. Dallas is trying to get him.
Wow.
They ain't getting him. Raiders is it the Raiders before them? Even at 8? What is there?
Raiders are number 7. 7.
Yeah, if they don't go ahead of the Raiders, they ain't getting them.
Yeah.
But I will say this: we've been really trying to work on our defense. That they definitely have struggled with that. B. Strill and I were on a show earlier today, and I think it was that Bear dude was on there, Bear Briscoe or whatever his name was.
Broski Bear, yeah.
Yeah, what did I say, Briscoe?
I like Bear Briscoe. That's a good one.
Whatever he was, he liked to got the business, and he was up there asking could he call in. Today was that day I wish we had a number to call in because I would have rat-a-tat-tat. I wouldn't even made it to church because I would have gave him the business so bad.
Swear jar. Beep.
Yeah, people would have been like, "Oh yeah, she ain't coming to church today." Anyway, we just got Nick Scott by giving some more depth on our secondary. Nick Scott, of course, and of course we're bringing back Adam Thielen, but we got to make sure we keep him where he needs to be because Adam is getting up there. He's not a junior anymore. He's very seasoned in the league, and so
he's a senior.
Yeah.
You know a guy I really like for y'all's team, and you're a Gamecocks fan, right? You're not you like the Gamecocks?
I mean, they're okay. I'm not a fan, but I like the women's basketball team.
Okay. Nick Anori from USC. I like him a lot. He had a really good combine. Now, he's not going to go that high in the draft. But I would definitely take him in the second round. Or if he goes in the first, he's projected to go, mid second, early second round, late first. I would definitely take him and pair him with JC Horn. That would be a good combination to have both of those guys.
You know, we brought in Turk Wharton and Trayvon Mooring, so they're talking
Mooring's
about
a safety. Yeah.
bringing those in, keeping him where he needs to be, like a nursing home. Listen, Thielen had a lot of targets last season, and he got us the wins that we needed. And let me be clear, in that garbage Kansas City game where we went overtime with them and we got cheated, that was a catch that Thielen had. We would have won that game. So the chefs and the refs, go figure, is how we lost the game. So Adam Thielen is far from a nursing home when it comes to him playing in Charlotte.
I know, Sonia, you said that you really want to improve your defense, and I agree with you. You know, you definitely need to add more pieces on defense, but you also need to give Bryce some more weapons if you really want him to excel. What about McMillan from Arizona, the receiver?
McMillan will be good, but that's going to be contingent upon what Jonathan Brooks looks like when he comes back. Y'all know Jonathan was drafted right around the time of Xavier Legette was, and he came in. He was injured when he was drafted. Came in, got injured.
He got hurt again.
Third week, and as a result, people lost their jobs in Carolina. The medical staff whoever cleared him got fired because of that. Yeah. So I think a lot is going to depend on him. I really want somebody like Scatterboo. I know that he's a running back too?
He's a running back.
But we already got like a bunch of running backs.
But at 8 you can't take Scatterboo. Like Scatterboo is going to probably go early second round.
Yeah, I know he is.
You can get Scatterboo in the second round if you want to go that route. Oh, you think so? Oh yeah. It's a pretty decent running back draft. Scatterboo will probably go in the early second.
I thought Scatterboo might go maybe top 15. No.
I think
it depends how desperate some people's are.
Yeah, Genty and
I'm looking at the draft order. I really think that Genty can go anywhere. Anybody definitely can get Genty. If you think about it, Tennessee needs a running back. Cleveland needs a running back because.
And you could always go the North Carolina guy.
The Giants need a running back. New England needs a running back. Jacksonville needs
the running back from North Carolina, Omarion. You could go you go that route. He's right in the backyard.
I want us to get some more wide receivers, and we still haven't made up the gap from Brian Burns, our edge rusher. I'm still not sold on who that would be, and some solid contenders of protection for Bryce, not just the targets.
Huge. That's huge for sure.
We literally need, and it's going to have to be really strong. A strong line because Bryce went from running for his life to having to make his own plays, and you have to make up for the size of your quarterback. Like it's so noticeable that he is of a smaller size, that he's not just small height wise, he's small. Okay. And so they said he's 5'10". Bryce does not look 5'10". That's all I'm gonna say. I've seen Bryce in person. And I had field level seats when I saw him, so it was a very good seat. And he did not look 5'10". That's all I'm gonna say. He looks closer to 5'8" or 9", and I'm 5'6". So I
think they had a meme of him by a ref or something. The ref was taller than him. It was kind of funny and bigger than him, like both.
Listen, the cone on the sideline was taller than Bryce. He ran by it, and it overpowered the sun.
Leave the man alone. I already told you.
I didn't say the cone was taller than Bryce.
I already told you, Sonia. He's going to be the most improved player this year.
He really is. I cannot wait.
Yeah, have it. It's going to happen. I'm telling you. I saw enough last year to believe that.
Yeah, while I got both of y'all on here, since y'all are both NFC as well, I love the Lions. I've actually claimed you guys since week 2 of last year as my second team. But
what's up?
Next season, Panthers are coming. They're coming for the South, and they're coming for the entire NFC. So look out, Jaden Daniels, because I hope you enjoyed your moment of stardom in your
Bryce is coming
appearance. Yeah, Bryce is coming. Hashtag that. Yeah. Bryce is coming.
I think it's very viable. I mean, the reality is that division is very weak. People can say all day the Bucs are really good. They're not that good. They're a solid team.
They're just the best of that division.
That division is up for grabs.
Yes.
I totally
Atlanta
agree
beat
with you.
Atlanta beat them twice last year, and where
Yeah.
Atlanta end up?
Exactly.
So,
So
with Michael Penis Jr. So yeah.
if the Panthers can come out hot and win games
that's why
early,
I like Sonya.
and keep getting Bryce more confidence as he goes and get him some more weapons, the guy can really gel. He can really flourish. There's no doubt about that.
Oh wow, Kevin! Wow. What's your team, sir? What is your team?
It's Buffalo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now he got a.
No one circles the wagons better than the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I can't even hate on them. But have they been to the Super Bowl at all?
Oh,
yeah, 4 times
And never won, right?
Sorry, Kevin.
Did they? I'm just trying to figure out because I like.
We can't defend you, man.
Hey,
we can't
really talk. We can't really talk
Yeah.
smack because we ain't been in no Super Bowl. So
that's what me and B are saying.
Four Super Bowls are better than none.
But the Panthers have gone. The Panthers have gone twice. They've gone twice.
And y'all are a newer
times,
franchise, which is more embarrassing for us.
And how old are the Buffalo Bills?
Pretty old.
Yeah, so
they're not as old as the Lions, though.
Yeah, my team is 30. My team is like 33 years old. We're young, okay? We're one of the youngest franchises, and we've been to the Super Bowl twice. And we got NFC championships. What's the AFL? You mean AFC? 19. I wasn't even here.
All right.
I mean,
on that note,
we could go with the championships the Lions have too, but
what's the AFL though? American Foot League? What is
Football League? Yeah, before it became the NFL.
Oh yeah, we don't count that. That's like Chicago. You go to Soldier Field. I've been to Soldier Field a couple times. You go to Soldier Field, and that's all they got is all these championships.
Hold up. You count them because they're championships and they're in that franchise. Okay.
Yeah.
I count championships from the Lions. They might not won Super Bowls when it was called a Super Bowl, but they have 4 championships.
Championship. Yeah, they got rings.
Before there was an NFL before the NFL we know it today. So I don't want to give you that. See, people got to win.
In the Super Bowl era, the Lions have not won a Super Bowl or been in the Super Bowl.
And
we have championships.
And the Bears have only won one. That's what I'm saying though. At Soldier Field, they look like they're all these champs, and you're like, you never been.
They've been in 2, and they have championships before the Super Bowl era too. But they've been in 2 Super Bowls and won 1. So
yeah, and how many has the Bills won though? Let's go back to that. How many have they won?
They've been in 4 though.
I mean, since he said I'm smoking some weed, I'm just offering it to him.
Let's not turn this into a pissing contest. All right.
I love it. Come on, Nate. Come on.
We could go on all night doing this, but. Hey, we're going to wrap this show up. Sonia, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt Hatter, for coming on the show. Hopefully you get your power back. Thank you for all the people. Kevin, give me all the names, B, that
Brent
participated today.
Kevin, who else was on here? Who was that one guy we had on here? Dalton. Dalton said, what's up?
Thank you. Yeah. The Falcon guy.
Sonia, of course, was talking to us at one point. And
who was the Falcon guy?
Ron Thomas.
Okay,
I think he got a little bit mad at me because I didn't send him a link, but
Ron,
I got him.
Ron, definitely get with us, man. We would love to talk your Falcons. We're trying to do a 31.
Have me on then.
Okay. Sonia, you're always welcome. We're trying to do a 31
I need
teams.
A Buck fan.
So yeah,
I got one for y'all.
We got a Steeler. We got a Panther. Fan? Okay, so there you go.
We need it. And we get J Train on here. That'll be a Saint fan. Then you can have an NFC South.
Let me put this disclaimer out there. When you bring the Buck fan on, please keep him under wraps because he has a huge crush. He has a huge crush on me, and I deal with him way over here because he blows up my inbox all the time, asking to be friends, and I know him, so. Have him wrangled in. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. We'll set the boundaries. But thank you again, Sonia, for coming on.
Thanks,
we enjoyed having you. Yes. And B, tell them where they can find us.
They can find us on all social platforms. Well, basically, right now it's just on YouTube and Facebook. Right now, my Facebook page. I'm waiting for Nate to put his information in so I can show on his Facebook page too. And then on YouTube, but I'm having trouble with X, so I got to figure that problem out. But Instagram, we're on Instagram and TikTok, so you can look on those. We show all kinds of clips on TikTok, and we're probably going to start doing our own personal thing on TikTok too. We've been talking about that too, our own take. So that would be good.
I shared you guys to a bunch of groups today. So
appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
Sonia.
lady.
Go ahead and plug your shows.
Prim and Proper Sports. Prim and Proper Sports. It's on YouTube, TikTok. On TikTok, it's the Pretty Sports Lady. My promo lady named me that. So shout out to Pink Fan Fur. It's on Instagram, X, and it's on YouTube at Prim and Proper Sports. And on Facebook, you can find it All Things Football from a Lady's Perspective.
Awesome.
And we are on Monday through Friday at 2 p.m.
That's what I was gonna say. Plug
Eastern
your show.
Standard Time and 1 o'clock Central Time, because that's Nate's time. I always got to throw that in there because of him. But we get on there. Nate be doing his thing in the background. I think that's pretty cool though. Anyway, but he does this thing in the background, but he's still focused in on what we're doing,
making the money and still talking at the same time.
Right. By the way, on Wednesdays, it's Chris Peoples with baseball. And on Thursdays, it's our guy, Jim, Sonia. He's going to be doing the hockey.
Yes, on Thursdays. And so Jim is also part of Friday with the Fellas that we have when he can be. So I'm glad to know you snatched him.
He's a busy guy.
On Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9 o'clock as well, Prim and Proper Sports. But
So I'm just waiting for Jake to get a little bit better so we can have him for basketball. We pretty much got the football thing covered anyway. So, but the basketball, I would love to have J Train be on there, or A Train. I don't care, any one of them. I don't care, but J Train usually is pretty profound in that. So
and if you guys need to add in a ladies basketball segment, I'll be more than happy to.
That'd be good perspective. I just know names. I don't know the whole teams. Like, I know the names.
I have a couple teams I follow like the Huskies because they were champs, and of course USC because they were champs. I need to get with my basketball acumen. I mean, and I know y'all gotta go, but the draft went by so fast for the women's draft. I couldn't believe it. I went to go get something to drink and came back, and it was over in like 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm ashamed to say it. Kind of, I don't follow women's basketball like I should. Another thing that we need to do too, and this is just off the topic. UFL is coming up. UFL starts next weekend.
Yeah, we can definitely throw some UFL in there. Talk about the Panthers for sure. Panthers, with the Lions.
We have Panthers too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ours is the Michigan Panthers, but
and Detroit won again. They won
again. Yes, they did. 136 to 130. Without Cade.
Very good. Congrats, Pistons.
Of course, they played the Pelicans. That's not saying much.
But once again, thank you, Sonia, for coming on the show. It was always a pleasure having you. We talked about in the months abundance of things from beat to football to everything under the sun.
Painting nude in the house,
shooting, everything.
Yeah, we keep it real. That's for
AFL championships.
Yeah,
the tournament. But nothing really that much football related, but
it's all good. It's all good.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. B, always a pleasure seeing you.
Yes, sir.
As always, fuck the Whackers, fuck the Vikings, fuck the Bears. This is the One Ass Cheeks and Three Toes signing off. Y'all have a blessed evening, and we'll see you next Sunday at same time, same place. Good night.
Kevin's funny.